Hi. Previously, we learned about defining your audience, setting strategic goals, choosing the right platform, and creating your online brand. So in this video, I'll explain how to produce videos online, starting with tips for successful storytelling, filming preparation, including the lighting, the videos, the audio, and the shooting environment, and in general, how to create stories from start to end. How to use videos to create stories. I will start with explaining tips for successful storytelling. First of all, you need to identify the core message. Think of it as the main purpose of creating the video and the main takeaway that you want your audience to walk away with. The core message would help guide the video and help you choose the right tone of voice, graphics, music, and script. Now, after identifying the core message, now you need to divide the video into 3 parts: intro, body, and closure. Having a beginning, middle, and end will help your viewers to go with the video's flow and help them understand the message a lot easier. Now let's go even more in depth into creating the beginning, middle, and end of the story. If you follow these steps, the storytelling of the video that you want to create would be formed a lot easier. First of all, start with introducing a conflict or a problem, like cyberbullying, for example. Then you can increase the tension by explaining how cyberbullying is affecting the youth. After increasing the tension, provide resolution and explain to the viewer how you're solving the problem. Then finally, end it by a call to action and explain to the viewers how they could take steps in order to improve the situation. So after identifying the core message and having an intro, body, and closure, then the third tip is to introduce characters to showcase the human experiences, as people viewing the videos will always connect when they watch other people in the video. The fourth tip is to keep it simple, short, and in order. Focus on one topic at a time and respect your audience's time by making the video short and concise. And finally, don't be afraid to use fun and humorous tone to convey your message. Always put yourself in your audience's shoes and think how they would react and connect with your video. Filming preparation. I want to go over things to consider before and during a video shoot. I will be focusing on interviews and speaking to camera shots like this one. First, a successful shoot is a video that looks good and sounds good. And believe it or not, sounding good is even more important than looking good. There are 4 things you need to consider before filming: location, lighting, cameras, and audio. First of all, you can choose a couple of representatives who would always present your videos. This will help the viewers to get used and connect with the presenter a lot easier. If you're presenting the video or you chose a narrator who would present the video, make sure that you're comfortable and confident in front of camera by making sure to practice a few times before the actual shoot. And while filming, it will be easy to follow the script if you have it in bullet points. So make sure before shooting, cut down the script into bullet points where you can easily read and present. It is very normal to make mistakes while presenting. And keep in mind that you can always edit and cut and put the best parts together during post-production. You don't have to speak formally to the youth. Just write and speak for the ear by speaking clearly and more conversationally to better connect with your audience. Now, remember last videos when we discussed the branding and how you should be consistent across all your channels? Now you should also be consistent across all your videos. So make sure to use consistent elements, graphics, and music across your videos. It doesn't have to be the same music, of course, but the same genre of music. And now, let's discuss filming equipment. I'm going to cover the basic equipment and setup you need to produce your social media videos. Anything that shows in your frame would add or subtract from your project's message and branding. Then your location should complement your message and your projects and your objectives. For example, if you're targeting students, then shooting inside a school would obviously fit a lot more than shooting inside a corporate office. A corporate office setup wouldn't fit as much. Unless then intentionally avoid filming in front of plain, flat walls. Accentuate the depth behind your subject and use props and the surroundings to help build your video's look and feel. Also, make sure to choose a location that is quiet enough for your audio to be clear and crisp. I live in Egypt and the noise level here in Egypt and in the streets is very high because of the traffic and everything. So I apologize for that. Moving on to the lighting. There are 2 types of light. They're either indoor lighting or outdoor lighting. Whichever you use, you need to make sure that you have a consistent light throughout. So starting with natural lighting. Outdoor lighting depends mostly on sunlight, which should be enough to light your video. However, daylight changes throughout the day a lot. So for example, if you're shooting the video during sunset, then there will be light at the beginning of the video and near the end, it will be total darkness. So make sure to choose the right time to film the video. Also, while shooting outdoors, try to avoid the direct sunlight, the one at noon. It's really harsh light and doesn't help your subject to look nice. Try to either shoot in a shaded area or use diffusers. Here's an example of a diffuser. This is used to diffuse mostly the sunlight. Sunlight will come from this direction and then it will get diffused and look on the subject's face a lot softer. No harsh light and harsh shadows on their face. But for starters, you don't have to worry about it. Maybe just shooting in a shaded area would be enough. Also, you can shoot indoor using natural lighting next to a window, as the indirect sunlight would help illuminate the subject's skin. It makes it look softer and nicer. Now, if you plan to shoot indoors at night or in a closed space and you want to use artificial lights, it is very simple. There are three main lights that I use in this setup. So let me walk you through the setup quickly. First of all, here's my camera. This is a screen where I can see myself, and this is the main light that I'm using. This main light consists of a light strobe and then a light box with a diffuser, light diffuser. So the light, when it comes in, it gets diffused, falls on my face and makes my skin looks a lot softer. Also, I use a second light source, which is a fill light. I mainly use it because there's a light coming from this side. This side might be a little bit darker, so the fill light just fills the shadows on my face and makes the subject looks brighter. And then lastly, the light on the background. It helps to separate the background from the subject. Imagine if I'm wearing black and there is a black background, you would only see my face. By adding a light to the background, it helps separate the background from the subject. However, if you don't want to get too advanced, then maybe a main light source with the diffuser would be enough to light your subject. Now, moving on to cameras. Recently, phone cameras can produce high quality footage that you can start with, but I recommend that later on you should invest in buying a separate video camera for better and more professional footage. So if you're shooting handheld, not on a tripod, then make sure that you have a stable footage and not a shaky footage, because shaky footage could make your viewers feel dizzy and therefore maybe skip the video. So you would either want to use a tripod or to place your camera on a gimbal. If you're moving around in a park, if you're filming someone speaking while walking, then use a gimbal to make sure you have a stable footage. However, if you're walking around and you don't have a gimbal, then you could use this technique. Just place it around your neck and then pull forward the camera like this. Keep the strap straight and then push the camera forward while recording. So this would reduce the shake in the camera, which will help the footage look a lot smoother. So then if you plan to use a professional camera, a DSLR, which lens should I use? Different lenses are used differently according to the scene. So generally there are three types of lenses. First of all, there's a wide lens that gets a lot inside the frame. There's a medium focal lens, which is a little bit zoomed in, and there is a zoom lens, which has really long focal lengths. People could use it for filming birds that are far away. And for starters, any lens would do. Any lens would help you film and shoot and document the video. So depending on the scene, you might want to choose the right lens. Moving on to audio. Audio quality is more important than the footage quality. For example, imagine a video that really looks crisp and 4K footage and very clear and high-end looking video, but the sound is terrible and you can barely hear what the person in the video is saying. Then this video will totally go to waste. But then imagine there's a video footage from World War I and the footage is terrible and you can barely see anything, but you can hear a conversation between two soldiers very clearly. And if the conversation was interesting, then this video could easily go viral, even with a really terrible footage. And while recording audio, you should never depend on the internal microphones on the cameras or mobile phones, because microphones placed on cameras tend to capture noise around the camera, not just in front of it. However, you should buy separate microphones, like shotgun microphones like this one. So shotgun mics are directional microphones that can easily record sound coming from one direction. And the fur on top is used to reduce the sound of wind while recording. However, for even more clear audio recording, you could use Lava mic and directly record the audio on a recording device, and then later on in post-production add the audio on top of the footage. This is helpful if you're walking around far away from the camera, then wirelessly the sound is transmitted to the camera and the recording device. There are a lot more different types of microphones, but these are the main ones that you would probably be using. Lastly, there are a few things I want you to consider. The evergreen video content strategy. Evergreen content is the type of content that you should consider, as it will always attract viewers throughout time. For example, how-to videos, travel, language, educational videos would always be searched by people looking to learn something new. For example, learning how to cook vegetables will always be searched forever because people will always be eating vegetables. So always think of evergreen content that would add value to people now and for many years to come. Also, you should consider quantity versus quality. At first, after building your project, you should take your time and focus on building your content style and spend more time with producing quality content rather than a lot of content. After gaining confidence and building a following base, then you should increase the quantity bit by bit while maintaining the same consistent quality. Aim to produce one content per day or at least 3 times per week to be able to increase and maintain traffic on your social media pages. So far in this video, we've learned a lot about the video production, including tips for successful storytelling and the preparation for the videos, including the lighting, the videos, the audio, and the shooting environment, and in general, how to create stories from start to end. So since now we've learned how to create the content, in the next video I'll teach you how to distribute and promote your videos across all your pages on social media. So tune in and see you in the next video.